Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way that on a mission to snatch my people straight about that fire. On a mission to snatch the lamb out the mouth of a lion. If you notice he ain't in the fold, leave the 99. Just say that brother or sister somehow we left behind. Should I leave the 99 sheep to go back for the one? I mean that's still 99 and that's more than some. Yahshua came for the lost sheep, let's get him young. He might be seeking a change like the prodigal son. Wise as a serpent, homeless as doves, that's how we played. Blocking these fiery arrows, strap on my shoulder faith. Many are called, few are chosen, what the scriptures say. Jeremiah 31:21, the ship's on the way, crossing the Jordan, still waters, we want no trouble that day. Matthew 7:13, enter through the straight gates, broad is the path of destruction, but narrow is the way. Jeremiah 31, for the new covenant we shall wait. Hebrews 8, yeah, Hebrews 8, for the new covenant we shall wait. All praise to the Most High Yahweh Elohim, praise Yah. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way that reach the Father.
Started from the bottom, now we heal. You already know what it is. Giving praise to the God of Israel. Yeah, the truth has been revealed. Even though a lot of men said live, the whole world they been deceived for real. Read Revelation chapter 12. Time will tell who will prevail 400 year captivity. But we coming out of here. Prophecy been fulfilled. Gotta live righteously. Yeah, we'll see who is real and who will be out. Cause of fear, cause of doubt. Who will hear and believe our report. Time to resort back to the sword. Yeah, the mighty one through the sun. Fight a run, we gon' fight. If it is real, Ephesians 6:12. Yeah, we battle where the evil dwell. Hell is just a grace. So yeah, you know we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Who shall we feel? Come on. Cause salvation is near, even though it's a war going on. Gotta keep marching on. This is for my pills. He that has the ear, hear. It's time to go home, for real.
Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way that reach the Father. On a mission to snatch my people straight about that fire. On a mission to snatch the lamb out the mouth of a lion. If you notice he ain't in the fold, leave the 99. Just say that brother or sister somehow we left behind. Should I leave the 99 sheep to go back for the one? I mean that's still 99 and that's more than some. Yahshua came for the lost sheep, let's get him young. He might be seeking a change like the prodigal son. Wise as a serpent, homeless as doves, that's how we played. Blocking these fiery arrows, strap on my shoulder faith. Many are called, few are chosen, what the scriptures say. Jeremiah 31:21, the ship's on the way, crossing the Jordan, still waters, we want no trouble that day. Matthew 7:13, enter through the straight gates, broad is the path of destruction, but narrow is the way. Jeremiah 31, for the new covenant we shall wait. Hebrews 8, yeah, Hebrews 8, for the new covenant we shall wait. All praise to the Most High Yahweh Elohim, praise Yah. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua. Yahshua, the only way that reach the Father.
Started from the bottom, now we here. You already know what it is. Giving praise to the God of Israel. The truth has been revealed, even though a lot of masses live the whole world. They've been deceived for real. Read Revelation chapter 12. Time will tell who will prevail 400 year captivity. But we coming out of here. Prophecy been fulfilled. Gotta live righteously. Yeah, we'll see who is real and who will be out. Cause of fear, cause of doubt. Who will hear and believe our report. Time to resort back to the source. Yeah, the mighty one through the sun. Fight a run, we gon' fight. If it is will Ephesians 6 and 12. Yeah, we battle where the evil dwell. Hell is just a grace. So yeah, you know we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Who shall we feel? Come on. Cause salvation is near, even though it's a war going on. Gotta keep marching on. This is for my pills. Either have the ill heal. It's time to go home.
For real. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way that reach the Father. It's too late now. All praise to Yahweh.
Shalom Facebook, Shalom YouTube. Welcome to our history class. Tonight we are in 1 Samuel chapter 10. But before we get started, does anyone have any questions? Okay, just to give you a little heads up, in 1 Samuel chapter 10 and chapter 8 of 1 Samuel, people wanted the king. And it was an offense to Yahweh for them to ask for a king. We'll put that in. Yeah. Okay. Again, in 1 Samuel, uh, chapter 8, they wanted a king, so Yahweh was offended, but then Yahweh said, well, go ahead and get him a king. And the king would be Saul, the son of Kish, the first king of Israel. Now, what's interesting about the way this whole thing is set up is that in some Bibles, we don't have a 1 Samuel or 2 Samuel. But in some Bibles, we have a 1 Kings and 2 Kings, a 3rd King and 4th King, different books. So it's appropriate that in 1 Samuel, should have been 1 Kings, because this is where you get your first king from, and King Saul. So again, Yahweh sent Saul to Samuel to anoint him, to let him know, yeah, you're going to be the king of Israel. And so that will be in chapter 9. So now we're going to pick it up in 1 Samuel chapter 10.
Verse 1. Then Samuel took a vial of oil and poured it upon his head and kissed him and said, is it not because Yahweh have anointed thee to be captain over his inheritance? When thou art departed from me today, then thou shalt find 2 men by Rachel's sepulchre in the border of Benjamin at Zelzah, and they will say unto thee, the asses which thou wentest to seek are found. And lo, thy father hath left the care of the asses and sorroweth for you, saying, what shall I do for my son? Then shall I go on forth from thence, and thou shalt come to the plain of Tabor, and there shall meet thee 3 men going up to Elohim to Bethel.
Yeah, I can't believe this. I'm in class right now, man. Coming back later. Go ahead.
1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 3. Then shall thou go on forward from thence, and thou shalt come to the plain of Tabor, and there shall meet thee 3 men going up to Elohim to Bethel, one carrying 3 kids, and another carrying 3 loaves of bread, and another carrying a bottle of wine. And they will salute thee and give thee 2 loaves of bread, which thou shalt receive of their hands. After that thou shalt come to the hill of Elohim, where is the garrison of the Philistines. And it shall come to pass, when thou art come thither to the city, that thou shalt meet a company of prophets coming down from the high place with a psaltery, and a tabret, and a pipe, and a harp before them, and they shall prophesy. And the Spirit of Yahweh will come upon thee, and thou shalt prophesy with them, and shalt be turned into another man. And let it be, when these signs are come unto thee, that thou do as occasion serve thee, for Elohim is with thee. And thou shalt go down before me to Gilgal, and behold, I will come down unto thee to offer burnt offerings and to sacrifices of peace offerings. 7 days shalt thou tarry till I come to thee and show thee what thou shalt do. And it was so that when he had turned his back to go from Samuel, Elohim gave him another heart, and all those signs came to pass that day. And when they came thither to the hill, behold, a company of prophets met him, and the Spirit of Elohim came upon him, and he prophesied among them.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, when all that knew him before time saw that, behold, he prophesied among the prophets. Then the people said one to another, what is this that is come unto the son of Kish? Is Saul also among the prophets? And one of the same place answered and said, but who is their father? Therefore it became a proverb, is Saul also among the prophets? And when he had made an end of prophesying, he came to the high place.
Now, let me stop right there, Brother Stephen. It says that Saul prophesied. Now, it's a translated word, but nevertheless, this is not the same prophesying that you hear in Isaiah and Jeremiah and Ezekiel and Daniel. It's not the same foretelling of the future. And that's what prophecies are. In this case, this word prophecy actually means singing. So you look at the context of the word of the verse that it is in, then you compare it to some other the verses like in the book of Acts, Philip had $3 that prophesied. They sang. They didn't. It wasn't foretelling of the future, but they call it prophecy. And then when you look at 1 Corinthians 14, when Paul was addressing the issue of speaking in tongues, Paul said, "I'd rather you prophesy." Well, the prophecy during his days was not like the prophecy that we read about in Isaiah and Jeremiah. Those prophets that Paul was talking about was not those types of prophets. So these prophets had to have someone next to them to make sure that he's on point with his prophecy. So it's not the same as these prophecies back in these days. And I just want to point that out that Saul did not foretell the future when he was prophesying with the prophets. But nevertheless, he was what you would call being in the spirit. And this would it will be a state of ecstasy when they prophesied in this manner. So more than likely they were singing also, because like I tell you before, some of these prophets prophesy are singing in a prophecy. Also, when you look at the book of Psalms, those are songs also, but the prophecy in those songs. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 13. And when he had made an end of prophesying, he came to the high place, and Saul's uncle said unto him and to his servant, Whither went ye? And he said, To seek the asses. And when we saw that they were nowhere, we came to Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
And Saul's uncle said, Tell me, I pray thee, what Samuel said unto you. And Saul said unto his uncle, He told us plainly that the asses were found, but of the matter of the kingdom whereof Samuel spake, he told him not. And Samuel called the people together unto Yahweh to Mizpah, and said unto the children of Israel, Thus saith Yahweh Elohim of Israel, I brought up Israel out of Egypt, and delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of all kingdoms, and of them that oppress you. And you have this day rejected your Elohim, who himself saved you out of all your adversities and your tribulations. And you have said unto him, Nay, but set a king over us. Now therefore present yourselves before Yahweh by your tribes and by your thousands. And when Samuel had caused all the tribes of Israel to come near, the tribe of Benjamin was taken. And when he had caused the tribe of Benjamin to come near by their families, the family of Matri was taken, and Saul the son of Kish was taken. And when they sought him, he could not be found. Therefore they inquired of Yahweh further, if any man should yet come thither. And Yahweh answered, Behold, he has hid himself among the stuff. And they ran and fetched him thence. And when he stood among the people, he was higher than any of the people from his shoulders and upward. And Samuel said to all the people, See you him whom Yahweh hath chosen, that there is none like him among all the people. And all the people shouted and said, Elohim, save the king.
Mm-hmm.
Then Samuel told the people the manner of the kingdom, and wrote it in a book, and laid it up before Yahweh. And Samuel sent all the people away, every man to his house. And Saul also went home to Gibeah, and there went with him a band of men whose heart Elohim had touched.
Mm-hmm.
But the children of Israel children of Belial said, How shall this man save us? And they despised him and brought him no presents, but he held his peace.
What is Saul's father's name?
Kish.
I just check and see if you listen. Go ahead, Stephen.
1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 1. Then Nahash the Ammonite came up and encamped against Jabesh Gilead, and all the men of Jabesh said unto Nahash, Make a covenant with us, and we will serve thee.
Now, before you go any further, Stephen, did you see what Saul was doing? He was hiding among the stuff. You gotta wonder what was his head at? Because with being the first king over Israel, it said they ruled over him 40 years. So at what point is this where he hides himself? Is he a young man? Is he 20 years old? Or is he 15 years old? It's kind of childish. And plus, he's the tallest man in town, so how you going to hide? So, kind of gives you an idea what kind of person Saul is. Same way you get the idea of what kind of people the Hebrews were when you read about in Exodus chapter 2, where Moshe had killed that Egyptian because he was handling one of the Hebrews, right? So the next day he saw the Hebrew men fighting each other. And so this is our first introduction to the Hebrews, is that now look at them. They fighting amongst each other. Look at them today, fighting amongst each other. So I use that as a comparison. That's the initial view of what kind of people these are. So we see the initial kind of person that initially what Saul would be. He would be this sign of being unstable. So that's going to follow him because he didn't have sense enough to stand up and be counted and say, "Yeah, I'm that guy." So he was hiding them under stuff. So now we got an idea of what kind of mind he got. Go ahead, Brother Shepherd.
First,
Read verse 1 again.
1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 1. Then Nahash the Ammonite came up and encamped against Jabesh Gilead, and all the men of Jabesh said unto Nahash, Make a covenant with us, and we will serve thee. And Nahash the Ammonite answered them, On this condition will I make a covenant with you, that I may thrust out all your right eyes and lay it for a reproach upon all Israel.
Mm.
And the elders of Jabesh said unto him, Give us 7 days respite, that we may send messengers unto all the coasts of Israel. And then, if there be no man to save us, we will come out to thee.
Mm-hmm.
Then came the messengers to Gibeah of Saul and told the tidings in the ears of the people, and all the people lifted up their voices and wept. And behold, Saul came after the herd out of the field, and Saul said, What aileth the people that they weep? And they told him the tidings of the men of Jabesh. And the spirit of Elohim came upon Saul when he heard those things, and his anger was kindled greatly. And he took a yoke of oxen and hewed them in pieces and sent them throughout all the coasts of Israel by the hands of the messengers, saying, Whosoever cometh not forth after Saul and after Samuel, so shall it be done unto his oxen. And the fear of Yahweh fell on the people, and they came out with one consent. And when he numbered them in Besek, the children of Israel were 300,000, and the men of Yehuda 30,000.
No, he chopped up that oxen and sent it to all the rest of the tribes of Israel. Well, have we heard this action being done before?
Is that lady?
Huh?
Or concubine?
What concubine?
When the guy we talked about last week, he chopped them up and chopped her in 12 pieces and scattered it to the tribe of Israel. I don't know what was the coast of the like this, but it sounds similar, like the way he did it.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I just didn't get the name right.
Go ahead, Brother Stanley.
Book of Judges.
Huh?
Chapter 7, Book of Judges.
Judges, yeah. Uh-huh.
1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 9. And they said unto the messengers that came, Thus shall you say unto the men of Jabesh Gilead, Tomorrow, by that time the sun be hot, you shall have help. And the messengers came and showed it to the men of Jabesh, and they were glad. Therefore the men of Jabesh said, Tomorrow we will come out unto you, and you shall do with us all that seemeth good unto you. And it was so on the morrow that Saul put the people in 3 companies, and they came into the midst of the host in the morning watch, and slew the Ammonites unto the heat of the day. And it came to pass that they which remained were scattered, so that 2 of them were not left together.
Mm-hmm.
And the people said unto Samuel, Who is he that said, Shall Saul reign over us? Bring the men, that we may put them to death. And Saul said, There shall not a man be put to death this day, for today Yahweh hath wrought salvation in Israel. Then said Samuel to the people, Come and let us go to Gilgal and renew the kingdom there.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people went to Gilgal, and there they made Saul king before Yahweh in Gilgal, and there they sacrificed sacrifices of peace offerings before Yahweh, and there Saul and all the men of Israel rejoiced greatly.
Now, the children of Israel feared greatly because of the Ammonites, and they were crying. Now, we don't know what that feels like because we've been living in America all our lives. We never had any thirst to our life from invading people. So these people are crying because they know if them people come up in there, they're going to kill them. And back in them days, they didn't shoot people. They stab you with a sword. So it was up close and personal. So they had to get up on you and stab you. And they've seen that before. And they don't want to go through that. But we don't have an idea of what that feels like, the terror in the eyes, because we live a comfortable life here in the most powerful country in the world. And we don't have any we don't really have any fear like our fathers had back in these days. So I'm at this is not the only case where people fear for their lives, because I'm pretty sure that our father did that when they received emancipation. They were still scared of these white folks, but they were still killing them. So you're not sure of your life, you don't have that kind of fear right there. And now this is Saul's first campaign. He came out a winner, and so they went up to Gilgal to go ahead and anoint him king over Israel. Go ahead, Brother Steph.
1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 1. And Samuel said unto all Israel, Behold, I have hearkened unto your voice in all that you said unto me, and have made a king over you. And now, behold, the king walketh before you, and I am old and gray-headed, and behold, my sons are with you, and I have walked before you from my childhood unto this day.
So Samuel will be the last of the judges, right? And since they got a king now, Samuel's boys don't have to judge anymore. The king will be the judge, even though they are the sons of a judge. But the times of the judge have just come to an end when the children of Israel asked for a king. Go ahead, Brother Seth.
1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 3. Behold, here I am, witness against me before Yahweh and before his anointed. Whose ox have I taken, or whose ass have I taken, or whom have I defrauded? Whom have I oppressed, or of whose hand have I received any bribe to blind mine eyes therewith? And I will restore it you.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, Thou hast not defrauded us, nor oppressed us, neither hast thou taken aught of any man's hand.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, Yahweh is witness against you, and his anointed is witness this day, that you have not found aught in my hand. And they answered, He is witness.
Mm-hmm.
And Samuel said unto the people, It is Yahweh that advanced Moshe and Aaron, and that brought your fathers up out of the land of Egypt. Now therefore stand still, that I may reason with you before Yahweh of all the righteous acts of Yahweh, which he did to you and to your fathers. When Yaakov was coming to Egypt, and your fathers cried unto Yahweh, then Yahweh sent Moshe and Aaron, which brought forth your fathers out of Egypt, and made them dwell in this place. And when they forgot Yahweh their Elohim, he sold them into the hand of Sisera, captain of the host of Hazar, and into the hand of the Philistines, and into the hand of the king of Moab, and they fought against them. And they cried unto Yahweh and said, We have sinned, because we have forsaken Yahweh and have served Baalim and Ashtaroth. But now deliver us out of the hand of our enemies, and we will serve thee. And verse 11, and Yahweh sent Jerubbaal and Bedan and Jephthah and Samuel, and delivered you out of the hand of your enemies on every side, and you dwell safe. And when you saw that Nahash, the king of the children of Ammon, came against you, and you said unto me, Nay, but a king shall reign over us, when Yahweh your Elohim was your king. Now therefore, behold the king whom you have chosen, and whom you have desired. And behold, Yahweh hath set a king over you. If you will fear Yahweh and serve him, and obey his voice, and not rebel against the commandment of Yahweh, then shall both you and also the king that reigneth over you continue following Yahweh your Elohim. But if you will not obey the voice of Yahweh, but rebel against the commandment of Yahweh, then shall the hand of Yahweh be against you, as it was against your fathers. Now therefore stand and see this great thing, which Yahweh will do before your eyes. Is it not wheat harvest today? I will call unto Yahweh, and he shall send thunder and rain, that you may perceive and see that your wickedness is great, which you have done in the sight of Yahweh in asking you a king. So Samuel called unto Yahweh, and Yahweh sent thunder and rain that day, and all the people greatly feared Yahweh and Samuel. And all the people said unto Samuel, Pray for thy servants unto Yahweh thy Elohim, that we die not. For we have added unto all our sins this evil to ask us a king. And Samuel said unto the people, Fear not, you have done all this wickedness, yet turn not aside from following Yahweh, but serve Yahweh with all your heart, and turn you not aside, for then should you go after vain things, which cannot profit nor deliver, for they are vain. For Yahweh will not forsake his people for his great name's sake, because he have pleased Yahweh to make you his people. Moreover, as for me, Elohim forbid that I should sin against Yahweh in ceasing to pray for you. But I will teach you the good and the right way. Only fear Yahweh and serve him in truth with all your heart, but consider how great things he have done for you. But if you shall still do wickedly, you shall be consumed, both you and your king.
So what we have here, um, in verse 22, it says, For Yahweh will not forsake his people for his great name's sake, because it have pleased Yahweh to make you his people. Now, you're going to tell me that after that verse there, that Yahweh cast his people away. It pleased Yahweh to make us his people, man. So that I mean, even Paul ran into it when you go up into Romans chapter 11, when he said, "As Elohim cast his people away, Elohim forbid." But also, I'm an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin, of the seed of Aaron, of Abraham. So they had that going on back in them days, and they got it all the way up to the day that God has cast away his chosen people. They have not been cast away. Because when you read up in Jeremiah 16, you see what Yahweh said, I'm going to put you on the land that your father didn't know of, and I will not show you favor. All right, so it seems like Yahweh people never had a God since they've been here in America. They had served a white man God. But now Yahweh showing his people, yeah, I'm still here. All right, and then you read about your history and how you got here because of your fathers. So that makes up for the things that we've been going through since we've been here in America. So because we know there's nothing we could have done to stop it. Yahweh put us over here, put us in their hands, and then just disappeared. Now he's showing back up and let us know, yeah, I'm still here. So read about everything that this book has, because I left this as a gift to you. That's a beautiful gift too. Yeah, and it never grows old. There's always something new up in here. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we got our favorite verses and phrases up in here, no doubt. But we're looking at the whole book from cover to cover. That we've been given the spirit of understanding to read this and understand what this is actually saying. And a lot of people can't do it. I was looking at some of my some of the comments on TikTok when they're looking at that little video that y'all put up there.
Short clips.
Huh?
Short clips.
Yeah, those short clips. And some people like it, but a lot of people disagree. So I found that interesting. Yeah, so, I think I was talking about. I don't mean to get off the subject. Who are black people? Where they come from, right? And some said, "No, we Americans." Some of them said, "No, we Africans." Right, and so it says some of them said we were indigenous to America. Yeah, no, but you can't prove it. Yeah. What did you call America? What language did you speak? But, huh?
They let you know the book is so true. You say all Israel ain't Israel.
Right. So y'all be giving them over to it, but the argument doesn't hold in the water because I can see where, yeah, you've gone off on a tangent here. You don't even recognize who you are. You disavow what the Bible said. The Bible points directly at us at this time, right? But other people say, no, we are Ethiopians, or that we are. What else they say we are? I mean, they were upset with me because uh, when I was teaching that clip, I was saying, you do the children of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites. So most of them were positive though, because I know that when it says, um, what did it say when they like this stuff?
Impressed?
Huh?
Would they like
Yeah,
to be impressed?
yeah, but they got a little phrase that they use. I think my favorites, added to my favorites,
Oh,
something like that. So that more had more of them than the people that disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thumbs up.
thumbs up. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Rusty.
Well, I have a question. So, if we were from here and this was our land, where would we have any hope in? Because I mean, what hope? If this was what we were supposed to be, where would we have hope in? So we would basically, I guess, be slaves forever. If this is where we are and somebody else is moving over us.
And we were the original people here.
Yeah, we were original people here. I mean, where will our hope lie?
I don't know, man. But that's what they say because they say they were here first, but they never say what God they worship.
Mm-hmm.
So it's full of holes. I mean, anybody, a child could see through all that. That you don't have any way to prove what you say. So we got proof right here in this book. It points directly at us. So why would you try to convince us of something you can't prove? Yeah, so that we're living in the land of the free and home of the brave. So they got the freedom of speech. So I ain't gonna get mad at them because they disagree with us, but then they disagree with the Mashiach too. Who am I to complain? Yeah. Go ahead, Stephanie.
1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 1. Saul reigned 1 year, and when he had reigned 2 years over Israel, Saul chose him 3,000 men of Israel, where 2,000 were with Saul in Michmash and in Mount Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan in Gibeah of Benjamin. And the rest of the people he sent every man to his tent. And Jonathan smote the garrison of the Philistines that were in Geba, and the Philistines heard of it. And Saul blew the trumpet throughout all the land, saying, Let the Hebrews hear. And all Israel heard say that Saul had smitten a garrison of the Philistines, and that Israel also was had an abomination with the Philistines. And the people were called together after Saul to Gilgal.
Mm-hmm.
And the Philistines gathered themselves together to fight with Israel, 30,000 chariots and 6,000 horsemen, and people as the sand which is on the seashore in multitude. And they came up and pitched in Michmash, eastward toward Beth-aven.
Mm-hmm.
When the men of Israel saw that they were in a strait, for the people were depressed, then the people did hide themselves in caves and in thickets and in rocks and in high places and in pits. And some of the Hebrews went over Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. As for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him, trembling.
People getting out of town. Just like them folks up in New York. Everybody getting out of town. Go ahead, Steve.
1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 8. And he tarried 7 days according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. And Saul said, Bring hither a burnt offering to me and peace offerings. And he offered the burnt offering.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass that as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering behold, Samuel came, and Saul went out to meet him that he might salute him.
Mm-hmm.
And Samuel said, what hast thou done? And Saul said, because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and that thou camest not within the days appointed, and that the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash. Therefore said I, the Philistines will come down now upon me to Gilgal, and I have not made supplication unto Yahweh. I forced myself, therefore, and offered a burnt offering. And Samuel said to Saul, thou hast done foolishly. Thou hast not kept the commandment of Yahweh thy Elohim, which he commanded thee. For now would Yahweh have established thy kingdom upon Israel forever. But now thy kingdom shall not continue. Yahweh have sought him a man after his own heart, and Yahweh have commanded him to be captain over his people, because thou hast not kept that which Yahweh commanded thee. And Samuel arose and gathered him up from Gilgal unto Gibeah of Benjamin. And Saul numbered the people that were present with him, about 600 men. And Saul and Jonathan his son and the people that were present with them abode in Gibeah of Benjamin. But the Philistines encamped in Michmash. And the spoilers came out of the camp of the Philistines in three companies. One company turned unto the way that leadeth to Ophrah, unto the land of Shual, and another company turned away to Beth Horon, and another company turned to the way of the border that looketh toward the valley of Zeboim, toward the wilderness. Now there was no smith found throughout all the land of Israel. For the Philistines said, lest the Hebrews make them swords or spears. But all the Israelites went down to the Philistines to sharpen every man his share and his coulter and his axe and his mattock. Yet they had a file for the mattocks and for the coulters and for the forks and for the axes and to sharpen the goads. So it came to pass in the day of battle that there was neither sword nor spear found in the hand of any of the people that were with Saul and Jonathan, but with Saul and with Jonathan his son was there found. And the garrisons of the Philistines went out to the passage of Michmash. Now it came to pass upon a day that Jonathan the son of Saul said unto the young man that bare his armor, come, and let us go over to the Philistines' garrisons that is on the other side. But he told not his father. And Saul tarried in the uttermost part of Gibeah under a pomegranate tree which is in Migron, and the people that were with him were about 600 men. And Ahiah, the son of Ahitub, Ichabod's brother, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eli, Yahweh's priest in Shiloh, wearing an ephod. And the people knew not that Jonathan was gone. And between the passages by which Jonathan sought to go over unto the Philistines' garrison, there was a sharp rock on the one side and a sharp rock on the other side, and the name of the one was Bozez, and the name of the other Senah. The forefront of the one was situate northward over against Michmash, and the other southward over against Gibeah. And Jonathan said to the young man that bare his armor, come, and let us go over unto the garrison of these uncircumcised. It may be that Yahweh will work for us, for there is no restraint to Yahweh to save by many or by few.
Mm-hmm.
And his armor bearer said unto him, do all that is in thine heart, turn thee, behold, I am with thee according to thy heart. Then said Jonathan, behold, we will pass over unto these men, and we will discover ourselves unto them. If they say thus unto us, tarry until we come to you, then we will stand still in our place and will not go up unto them. But if they say thus, come up unto us, then we will go up, for Yahweh hath delivered them into our hand, and this shall be a sign unto us. And both of them discovered themselves unto the garrison of the Philistines. And the Philistines said, behold, the Hebrews come forth out of the holes where they have hid themselves. And the men of the garrison answered Jonathan and his armor bearer and said, come up to us, and we will show you a thing. And Jonathan said unto his armor bearer, come up after me, for Yahweh hath delivered them into the hand of Israel. And Jonathan climbed up upon his hands and upon his feet, and his armor bearer after him. And they fell before Jonathan, and his armor bearer slew after him. And that first slaughter which Jonathan and his armor bearer made was about 20 men within, as it were, an half acre of land, which a yoke of oxen might plow. And there was trembling in the host, in the field, and among all the people, the garrisons and the spoilers, they also trembled, and the earth quaked. So it was a very great trembling. And the watchman of Saul and Gibeah of Benjamin looked, and behold, the multitude melted away, and they went on beating down one another. Then said Saul unto the people that were with him, number now and see who is gone from us. And when they had numbered, behold, Jonathan and his armor bearer was not there. And Saul said unto Ahiah, bring hither the ark of Elohim. For the ark of Elohim was at that time with the children of Israel. And it came to pass, while Saul talked unto the priests, that the noise that was in the host of the Philistines went on and increased. And Saul said unto the priest, withdraw thine hand. And Saul and all the people that were with him assembled themselves, and they came to the battle. And behold, every man's sword was against his fellow, and there was a very great discomfiture. Moreover, the Hebrews that were with the Philistines before that time, which went up with them into the camp from the country round about, even they also turned to be with the Israelites that were with Saul and Jonathan. Likewise, all the men of Israel, which had hid themselves in Mount Ephraim, when they heard that the Philistines fled, even they also followed hard after them in the battle.
Mhm.
So Yahweh saved Israel that day, and the battle passed over unto Beth-aven. And the men of Israel were distressed that day, for Saul had adjured the people, saying, cursed be the man that eateth any food until the evening, that I may be avenged on mine enemies. So none of the people tasted any food. And all day of the land came to a wood, and there was honey upon the ground. And when the people were coming to the wood, behold, the honey dropped, but no man put his hand to his mouth, for the people feared the oath. But Jonathan heard not when his father charged the people with the oath. Wherefore he put the end of the rod that was in his hand, and dipped it in a honeycomb, and put his hand to his mouth, and his eyes were enlightened.
Mhm.
Then answered one of the people and said, thy father straitly charged the people with an oath, saying, cursed be the man that eateth any food this day. And the people were faint. Then said Jonathan, my father hath troubled the land. See, I pray you, how mine eyes have been enlightened, because I tasted a little of this honey. How much more, if haply the people had eaten freely today of the spoil of their enemies which they found, but had there not been now a much greater slaughter among the Philistines?
Mhm.
And they smote the Philistines that day from Michmash to Ayalon, and the people were very faint. And the people flew upon the spoil, and took sheep and oxen and calves, and slew them on the ground, and the people did eat them with the blood.
Mm.
Then they told Saul, saying, behold, the people sin against Yahweh, in that they eat with the blood. And he said, you have transgressed, roll a great stone unto me this day. And Saul said, disperse yourselves among the people, and say unto them, bring me hither every man his ox, and every man his sheep, and slay them here, and eat. Sin and sin not against Yahweh in eating with the blood. And all the people brought every man his ox with him that night, and slew them there.
Mhm.
And Saul built an altar unto Yahweh. The same was the first altar that he built unto Yahweh. And Saul said, let us go down after the Philistines by night and spoil them until the morning light, and let us not leave a man of them. And they said, do whatsoever seemeth good unto thee. Then said the priest, let us draw hither unto Elohim. And Saul asked counsel of Elohim, shall I go down to the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into the hand of Israel? But he answered him not that day. And Saul said, draw ye near hither, all the chief of the people, and know and see wherein this sin have been this day. For as Yahweh liveth, which saveth Israel, though it be in your Nathan my son, he shall surely die. But there was not a man among all the people that answered him. Then said he unto all Israel, be you on one side, and I and your Nathan my son will be on the other side. And the people said unto Saul, do what seemeth good unto thee. Therefore Saul said unto Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, give a perfect lot. And Saul and your Nathan were taken, but the people escaped. And Saul said, cast lots between me and your Nathan my son. And your Nathan was taken. Then Saul said to Jonathan, tell me what thou hast done. And Jonathan told him and said, I did but taste a little honey with the end of the rod that was in my hand, and lo, I must die. And Saul answered, Elohim do so and more also, but thou shalt surely die, Jonathan. And the people said unto Saul, shall Jonathan die, who have wrought this great salvation in Israel? Elohim forbid. As Yahweh liveth, there shall not one hair of his head fall to the ground. For he hath wrought with Elohim this day. So the people rescued Jonathan, that he died not. Then Saul went up from following the Philistines, and the Philistines went to their own place. So Saul took the kingdom over Israel and fought against all his enemies on every side, against Moab and against the children of Ammon and against Edom and against the kings of Zobah and against the Philistines. And whithersoever he turned himself, he vexed them. And he gathered an host and smote the Amalekites and delivered Israel out of the hands of them that spoiled them. Now the sons of Saul were Jonathan and Ishui and Malchishua, and the names of his two daughters were these, the name of the firstborn Merab, and the name of the younger Michal. And the name of Saul's wife was Ahinoam, the daughter of Ahimaaz, and the name of the captain of his host was Abner, the son of Ner, Saul's uncle. And Kish was the father of Saul, and Ner the father of Abner, who was the son of Abiel. And there was sore war against the Philistines all the days of Saul. And when Saul saw any strong man or any valiant man, he took him unto him. Samuel also said unto Saul, Yahweh sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Yehudah. And Saul came to a city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Kenites, go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For you showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is, over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and of the oxen and of the fatlings and the lambs and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refused, that they destroyed utterly. Then came the word of Yahweh unto Samuel, saying, It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he has turned back from following me and have not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto Yahweh all night. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about and passed on and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of Yahweh. I have performed the commandment of Yahweh. And Samuel said, What meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in mine ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? And Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites. For the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto Yahweh thy Elohim, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. Then Samuel said unto Saul, Stay, and I will tell thee what Yahweh hath said to me this night. And he said unto him, Say on. And Samuel said, When thou wast little in thine own sight, wast thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And Yahweh anointed thee king over Israel. And Yahweh sent thee on a journey and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of Yahweh, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of Yahweh? And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of Yahweh, and have gone the way which Yahweh sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites.
Mm-hmm.
But the people took up the spoil, sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto Yahweh thy Elohim in Gilgal.
Mm-hmm.
And Samuel said, Has Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahweh? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he has also rejected thee from being king.
This sounds like Christianity, in that, like Saul thought that what he did would please Yahweh with these burnt sacrifices. Christianity says that all you got to do is do good to please your God. So in both cases, they were wrong, because the Bible says you got to obey Yahweh. And Samuel is saying the same thing about Saul. It says rebellion is a sin of witchcraft. So you got religious people rebelling against Yahweh, not doing what Yahweh tells them to do, being disobedient. Like Saul wasn't being obedient. He was being disobedient, thinking that Yahweh would appreciate what he was doing. And Christians believe the same thing, that God would appreciate what they were doing without even considering that their God don't tell them what to do. He doesn't tell them to keep the commandments. So they do things that are right in their own eyes, just like Saul was doing here. He thought he was doing right in his own eyes. And but Samuel gave an explicit instruction: kill every man and woman and child and animal among the Amalekites. But he didn't follow instruction. So in verse, he says, because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he also rejected thee from being king. That's hardcore right there, I guess. Samuel, a very powerful man. And when he tells you what Yahweh says about you, that you've been rejected by Yahweh, that's a pretty hard pill to swallow. Because that's who made you king. Now they don't want you no more. So that can only mean one thing, that somehow he's going to die a violent death. You're going to hurry up and get him up out of there. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
First Samuel.
Before you go there, Brother Stephen, something I meant to mention earlier in chapter 13, in verse 19, you notice it said, now there was no smith found in all found throughout all the land of Israel. But the 15 said, unless the Hebrews make them swords and spears. I just want to read that particular verse because it's the first time you hear the phrase land of Israel.
Mhm.
Up until that point, it was Canaan land, land promised to the father. But this first time you see the actual phrase, the land of Israel. Now you're going to see it as we continue to read the book. I just want to point that out that that was the first time that it's mentioned since Israel got its name. Okay, let's go on back and finish up first.
1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of Yahweh and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. Now therefore I pray thee, pardon my sin, and turn again with me, that I may worship Yahweh. And Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, and Yahweh have rejected thee from being king over Israel. And as Samuel turned about to go away, he laid hold upon the skirt of his mantle, and it rent. And Samuel said unto him, Yahweh has rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day, and has given it to a neighbor of thine that is better than thou. And also the strength of Israel will not lie nor repent, for he is not a man that he should repent. Then he said, I have sinned, yet honor me now, I pray thee, before the elders of my people and before Israel, and turn again with me, that I may worship Yahweh thy Elohim. So Samuel turned again after Saul, and Saul worshiped Yahweh. Then said Samuel, bring ye hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. And Agag came unto him delicately, and Agag said, surely the bitterness of death is past. And Samuel said, as thou sword have made women childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before Yahweh in Gilgal. Then Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his house to Gibeah of Saul. And Samuel came no more to see Saul until the day of his death. Nevertheless, Samuel mourned for Saul, and Yahweh repented that he had made Saul king over Israel.
So here we have Samuel, who's the last judge and he's a prophet, but he's a violent man. He chopped this king up in pieces. The king wanted to live. So not this day, buddy. He carrying out what Saul was supposed to have done. But he didn't stand a chance. Samuel chopped him up in pieces. So now Yahweh's going to take the kingdom from Saul because he refused to obey Yahweh. Well, Yahweh didn't like him in the first place, so we all know that. But go ahead, Brother.
1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 1. And Yahweh said unto Samuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thine horn with oil and go. I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons.
So Samuel is mourning. He's crying for Saul. Because I wonder if he knows about what we know about the great white throne of judgment. Does Samuel know about that? That's why he's mourning for him so much. Because Yahweh requires more out of a king than a regular folk, but nevertheless, he's mourning mourning for Saul. But I'm wondering if that's the reason why he's mourning him. Because he might face that great white throne of judgment thrown in the lake of fire. Yeah. It's just a passing thought. It probably got nothing to do with that anyway, but he's really mourning for him, feeling sorry for him. Go ahead, read that verse again, Brother Chet.
And Yahweh said unto Samuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thine horn with oil and go. I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons. And Samuel said, how can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And Yahweh said, take an heifer with thee, and say, I am come to sacrifice to Yahweh. And call Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show thee what thou shalt do. And thou shalt anoint unto me him whom I name unto thee. And Samuel did that which Yahweh spake, and came to Bethlehem. And the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, cometh thou peaceably? And he said, peaceably, I am come to sacrifice unto Yahweh. Sanctify yourselves and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons and called them to the sacrifice. And it came to pass, when they were come, that he looked on Eliab and said, surely Yahweh's anointed is before him. But Yahweh said to Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For Yahweh seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but Yahweh looketh on the heart. Then Jesse called Abinadab and made him pass before Samuel. And he said, neither have Yahweh chosen this. Then Jesse made Shammah to pass by. And he said, neither have Yahweh chosen this. Again, Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Yahweh have not chosen these. And Samuel said unto Jesse, are here all thy children? And he said, there remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. And Samuel said unto Jesse, send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ready, and withal of a beautiful countenance, and goodly to look to. And Yahweh said, arise, anoint him, for this is he. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren, and the Spirit of Yahweh came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah. But the Spirit of Yahweh departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from Yahweh troubled him. And Saul's servant said unto him, behold now, an evil spirit from Elohim troubleth thee. Let our master now command our servants which are before thee to seek out a man who is a cunning player on an harp, and it shall come to pass when the evil spirit from Elohim is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. And Saul said unto his servants, provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him to me.
Look at the power of music. Now, I wonder if these psychiatrists ever even consider that the influence that music has on a person's mental state. Because the reason Saul is acting crazy right now. Because y'all want to send an evil spirit to him. They took that spirit he had before and give him an evil spirit. So now he's acting crazy. And they have diagnosed him saying, yeah, you need somebody to play some music for you so you can drive that evil spirit out now. How they figured that out, I don't know. But they came up with the right solution is to play that music, and it worked. That evil spirit would leave him. So again, you see the power of music, the power of singing when they're dealing with Yahweh's people. Go ahead, Brother Second.
1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 17. And Saul said unto his servants, provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him to me. Then answered one of the servants and said, behold, I have seen a son of Jesse the Bethlehemite that is cunning in playing, and a mighty valiant man, and a man of war, and prudent in matters, and a comely person, and Yahweh is with him. Wherefore Saul sent messengers unto Jesse and said, send me David thy son, which is with the sheep. And Jesse took an ass laden with bread and a bottle of wine and a kid, and sent them by David his son unto Saul. And David came to Saul and stood before him, and he loved him greatly, and he became his armor bearer. Verse 22. And Saul sent to Jesse, saying, Let David, I pray thee, stand before me, for he hath found favor in my sight. And it came to pass, when the evil spirit from Elohim was upon Saul, that David took an harp and played with his hand. So Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Philistines gathered together their armies to battle, and were gathered together at Shoco, which belongeth to Yehudah, and pitched between Shoco and Azekah and Ephes Dammim. And Saul and the men of Israel were gathered together and pitched by the valley of Elah, and set the battle in array against the Philistines. And the Philistines stood on a mountain on the one side, and Israel stood on a mountain on the other side, and there was a valley between them.
Ever since Samson, we've been having trouble with these Philistines. Saul having trouble with them. And he's still troubling them. Not Saul, but Samson. Samson had trouble with him, and then you got Saul here. So until you get up even to King David. But the Philistines are pretty persistent tormentors of our people. So you look at, again, who the enemies of our father were, and take into account how they dealt with their enemies. But go ahead, Brother Stephen. This is going to be a different account here, because I remember the first time one of the Philistines did, when they challenged the children of Israel, they took the Ark of the Covenant. And at this point, it's still gone. It's not with the Philistines, but it was in some other people's hands. But nevertheless, what we have here is the same confrontation that the Philistines had when Eli was priest, and now we got a confrontation with Saul being their first king. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 4. And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines, named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. And he had in heaven a brass upon his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail, and the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of brass. And he had greaves of brass upon his legs, and a target of brass between his shoulders. And the staff of his spear was like a weaver's beam, and his spear's head weighed 600 shekels of iron, and one bearing a shield went before him. And he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel, and said unto them, Why are you come out to set your battle in array? Am not I a Philistine, and you servants to Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. If he be able to fight with me and to kill me, then will we be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then shall you be our servants and serve us. And the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. When Saul and all Israel heard those words of the Philistines, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. Now David was the son of that Ephrathite of Bethlehem, Yehudah, whose name was Jesse, and he had 8 sons. And the man went among men for an old man in the days of Saul. And the 3 eldest sons of Jesse went and followed Saul to the battle. And the names of his 3 sons that went to the battle were Eliab, the firstborn, and next unto him Abinadab, and the third Shammah. And David was the youngest, and the 3 eldest followed Saul.
Mm-hmm.
But David went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep at Bethlehem. And the Philistine drew near morning and evening, and presented himself 40 days. And Jesse said unto David his son, Take now for thy brethren an ephah of this parched grain, and these 10 loaves, and run to the camp to thy brethren, and carry these 10 cheeses unto the captain of their 1,000, and look how thy brethren fare, and take their pledge. Now Saul and they and all the men of Israel were in the valley of Elah fighting with the Philistines. And David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with a keeper and took and went as Jesse had commanded him. And he came to the trench as the host was going forth to the fight and shouted for the battle.
Mm-hmm.
For Israel and the Philistines had put the battle in array, army against army. And David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage and ran into the army and came and saluted his brethren. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words, and David heard them. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him and were sore afraid. And the men of Israel said, have you seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. And David spake to the men that stood by, saying, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine, and take away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living Elohim? And the people answered him after this manner, saying, so shall it be done to the man that killeth him. And Eliab, his eldest brother, heard when he spake unto the men. And Eliab's anger was kindled against David, and he said, why camest thou down hither, and with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and the naughtiness of thine heart, for thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle. And David said, what have I now done? Is there not a cause? And he turned from him toward another and spake after the same manner, and the people answered him again after the former manner.
Mm-hmm.
And when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul, and he sent for him. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came out a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him, and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. Thou servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he has defied the armies of the living Elohim. David said, moreover, Yahweh that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, and Yahweh be with thee. And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put an helmet of brass upon his head. Also he armed him with a coat of mail. And David girded his sword upon his armor, and he essayed to go, for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him. And he took a staff in his hand, and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and put them in a shepherd's bag which he had, even in a scrip, and his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine.
Mm-hmm.
And the Philistine came on and drew near unto David, and the man that bare the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth and ruddy and of a fair countenance. And the Philistine said unto David, am I a dog that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air and to the beasts of the field. Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword and with a spear and with a shield. But I come to thee in the name of Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. This day will Yahweh deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee and take thine hand from thee, thine head from thee. And I will give the carcasses of the hosts of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a Elohim in Israel. And all this assembly shall know that Yahweh saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is Yahweh's, and he will give you into our hands. And it came to pass, when the Philistine arose and came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him, but there was no sword in the hand of David.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine, and took his sword, and drew it out of the sheath thereof, and slew him, and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they fled. And the men of Israel and of Yehudah arose and shouted, and pursued the Philistines until thou come to the valley and to the gates of Ekron. And the wounded of the Philistines fell down by the way to Shearim, even unto Gath and unto Ekron. And the children of Israel returned from chasing after the Philistines, and they spoiled their tents. And David took the head of the Philistine and brought it to Jerusalem, but he put his armor in his tent. And when Saul saw David go forth against the Philistine, he said unto Abner, the captain of the host, Abner, whose son is this youth? And Abner said, As thy soul liveth, O king, I cannot tell. And the king said, Inquire thou whose son the stripling is. And as David returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, Abner took him and brought him before Saul with the head of the Philistine in his hand. And Saul said to him, Whose son art thou, thou young man? And David answered, I am the son of thy servant Jesse the Bethlehemite.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. And Saul took him that day and would let him go no more home to his father's house. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David and his garments, even to his sword and to his bow and to his girdle. And David went out whithersoever Saul sent him and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. And it came to pass, as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the women came out of all the cities of Israel, singing and dancing, to meet King Saul with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music.
Mm-hmm.
And the women answered one another as they played, and said, Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s.
Mm.
And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him. And he said, They have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. And what can he have more but the kingdom? And Saul eyed David from that day and forward. And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from Elohim came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hand as at other times, and there was a javelin in Saul's hand. And Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice. And Saul was afraid of David because Yahweh was with him and was departed from Saul.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore Saul removed him from him and made him his captain over 8,000. And he went out and came in before the people. And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and Yahweh was with him. Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him. But all Israel and Yehudah loved David because he went out and came in before them. And Saul said to David, Behold, my elder daughter Merab, her will I give thee to wife. Only be thou valiant for me and fight Yahweh's battles. But Saul said, Let not mine hand be upon him, but let the hand of the Philistines be upon him.
Mm-hmm.
And David said unto Saul, Who am I, and what is my life of my father's family in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king? But it came to pass at the time when Merab Saul's daughter should have been given to David, that she was given to Adriel the Maholathite to wife. And Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David, and they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. And Saul said, I will give him her, that she may be a snare to him, and that the hand of the Philistines may be against him. Wherefore Saul said to David, Thou shalt this day be my son-in-law in one of the two. And Saul commanded his servants, saying, Commune with David secretly, and say, Behold, the king hath delight in thee, and all his servants love thee. Now therefore be the king's son-in-law. And Saul's servant spake those words in the ears of David. And David said, Seemeth it to you a light thing to be a king's son-in-law, seeing that I am a poor man and lightly esteemed? And the servants of Saul told him, saying, On this manner spake David. And Saul said, Thus shall you say to David, The king desireth not any dowry, but 100 foreskins of the Philistines, to be avenged of the king's enemies.
Mm-hmm.
But Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines.
Mm-hmm.
And when his servants told David these words, it pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law, and the days were not expired. Wherefore David arose and went, he and his men, and slew of the Philistines 200 men. And David brought their foreskins, and they gave them in full count to the king, that he might be the king's son-in-law.
Even that's about 100.
Mm-hmm.
David just go nuts on a Philistine, man. Go ahead.
And Saul gave him Michal, his daughter, to wife. Verse 28. And Saul saw and knew that Yahweh was with David, and that Michal, Saul's daughter, loved him. And Saul was yet the more afraid of David, and Saul became David's enemy continually. Then the princes of the Philistines went forth, and it came to pass after they went forth that David behaved himself more wisely than all the servants of Saul, so that his name was much set by.
Now, he's still a young man. Now, keep that in mind. He was a young man when he killed Goliath. So we're looking at maybe 16, 17 years old. So he's still a young man, probably still less than 20 years old here, but everybody's impressed with him because they say, Yahweh with him. And a little young man take out a giant and all the rest of us. And you see how his brothers treated him like a little boy, like most older brothers do. So, but he made him a name that day. And so he had that kind of spirit. He was a man after Yahweh's own heart. So he carried himself respectfully before the king, didn't say anything against him. So, but the king got that evil spirit come on him from time to time. So he tried to kill him because yeah, he gonna take the crown. And well, I'm gonna leave my boy. Because the kingdom goes from father to son and all the way down the line. And he's saying that it's something up with that David that he might be a threat to my kingdom. I might have to take him out. Yeah. Go ahead, Stephanie.
1 Samuel chapter 19, verse 1. And Saul spake to Jonathan his son, and to all his servants that they should kill David. But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted much in David, and Jonathan told David, saying, Saul my father seeketh to kill thee. Now therefore I pray thee, take heed to thyself until the morning, and abide in a secret place, and hide thyself. And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where thou art, and I will commune with my father of thee, and what I see, that I will tell thee. And Jonathan spake good of David unto Saul his father, and said unto him, Let not the king sin against his servant, against David, because he have not sinned against thee, and because his work have been to thee ward very good. For he did put his life in the hand, and for he did put his life in his hand, and slew the Philistine, and Yahweh wrought a great salvation for all Israel. Thou sawest it and didst rejoice. Why then will you sin against innocent blood to slay David without a cause?
Mm-hmm.
And Saul hearkened unto the voice of Jonathan, and Saul sware, as Yahweh liveth, he shall not be slain. And Jonathan called David, and Jonathan showed him all those things. And Jonathan brought David to Saul, and he was in his presence as in times past. And there was war again. And David went out and fought with the Philistines and slew them with a great slaughter, and they fled from him. And the evil spirit from Yahweh was upon Saul as he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand, and David played with his hand. And Saul sought to smite David even to the wall with the javelin, but he slipped away out of Saul's presence, and he smote the javelin into the wall, and David fled and escaped that night. Saul also sent messengers unto David's house to watch him and to slay him in the morning. And Michal, David's wife, told him, saying, If thou save not thy life tonight, tomorrow thou shalt be slain. So Michal let David down through a window, and he went and fled and escaped. And Michal took an image and laid it in the bed, and put a pillar of goat's hair for his bolster, and covered it with a cloth. And when Saul sent messengers to take David, she said, He is sick. And Saul sent messengers again to see David, saying, Bring him up to me in the bed, that I may slay him. And when the messengers were come in, behold, there was an image in the bed with a pillar of goat's hair for his bolster. And Saul said to Michal, Why hast thou deceived me so, and sent away mine enemy, that he is escaped? And Michal answered Saul, He said unto me, Let me go. Why should I kill thee?
Yeah, this is royal intrigue, but that's why when you sent me that video, this guy saying that Ruth was an Israelite, right? Which means her hair wouldn't have been any different than the rest of the women's hair, right? If she was an Israelite. Now she's a Moabite, right? The book says she's a Moabite. So she's of a different people. But what we have here is a description of David's hair. His hair looks like goat's hair. Now, I'm pretty sure the children of Israel don't normally have that kind of hair, but his hair resembles goat's hair because it says in verse 13, and Michal took an image and laid it in a bed and put a pillar of goat's hair with bolster, by bolster just a pillar, and covered it with a cloth. So that pillow was sitting up as if that was David's head, because that's why you got goat hair look. And I'm pretty sure there was might have been dark in there, so they couldn't really see him that close. And so that shows you that he came from a different people. Not didn't necessarily. I mean, he's an Israelite. He's a tribe of Judah, but nevertheless, he's a result of Boaz and Ruth union, and they had a son named Obed, and then they had Jesse, then they had David. But David's hair was different than the rest of them. So again, that tells you that Ruth was not an Israelite. If she mingled with Boaz, that means that her children had some of her attributes as far as hair texture was concerned. So Israelite women all had the same kind of hair, but this one here, she had a great grandson that had straight hair and was ruddy. Keep that in mind because it doesn't say that about that with anybody else in David's family. But when you get to the song Slow-Mo, he resembles David too, with bushy hair and with ruddy. So yeah, that passed on down. So you light skinned brothers, y'all might be part of David's house. Yeah, me and Steve ain't nowhere close. But go ahead, Steve.
First Samuel chapter 19, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
And Saul said to Michal, why hast thou deceived me so, and sent away mine enemy that he is escaped? And Michal answered Saul, he said unto me, let me go. Why should I kill thee? So David fled and escaped and came to Samuel to Ramah and told him all that Saul had done to him. And he and Samuel went and dwelt in Nael. And it was told Saul, saying, behold, David is at Nael in Ramah. And Saul sent messengers to take David. And when they saw the company of the prophets prophesying and Samuel standing as appointed over them, the spirit of Elohim was upon the messengers of Saul, and they also prophesied. And when it was told Saul, he sent other messengers, and they prophesied likewise. And Saul sent messengers again the third time, and they prophesied also. Then went he also to Ramah and came to a great well that is in Siku, and he asked and said, where are Samuel and David? And one said, behold, they be at Naoth and Ramah. And he went thither to Naoth and Ramah, and the spirit of Elohim was upon him also. And he went on and prophesied until he came to Naoth and Ramah. And he stripped off his clothes also and prophesied before Samuel in like manner, and lay down naked all that day and all that night. Wherefore they say, is Saul also among the prophets?
All right, Stephen, I'm gonna stop right here. Chapter 20 got a little bit too many verses in here to rush through it and get a little short on time. And this is a pretty big chapter too, because just when David realized he got to leave town, got to leave his best partner, Nathan. And I don't want to skip over that little speed up job on it. So I'm going to stop here and open up the floor for questions. Does anyone have any questions before we dismiss? No question?
And living among his enemies, living among the Philistines.
Go get that.
Yeah, I'm saying he lived once upon a time, but he had to run from his relative.
Yeah.
Saul and his son. That's something, man.
Yeah.
I know Samson probably wished Delilah was like Meerkat.
Yeah.
His wife was entirely different.
I don't know what kind of woman Delilah was, but she's a Philistine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Michal grew up in a king's house. So she's spoiled rotten. Yeah. All the king's children are spoiled rotten. David, when you see David, they're gonna be spoiled rotten too. So let's see what's on chat. Okay, I have Elder Tobiah on Facebook at the top.
Yep.
Okay. Shalom, Elder Tobiah. Shalom, Brother Gregory Rucker. Shalom, Sister Kimberly Israel. Shalom, Brother Josiah. Shalom, Brother Abraham in Israel. Shalom, Elder Hiram. Shalom, Brother McAnderson. Shalom, Brother Kimuel. Shalom, Brother Adrian Davis.
Shalom, bro.
Huh?
I stand Adrian. Shalom.
Elder Stephen said, Shalom, Brother Adrian. Shalom, Yamina by Israel. Shalom, Sister Yamina by Israel. Shalom, Brother Yashua Israel. Shalom, Brother Yaakov in Israel. Shalom, Sister Shamayan, Yasharala Elder. Shalom, Brother Roosevelt Petrie. Shalom, Brother Curry. Shalom, Lonely Ripwood. Brother Lonely Ripwood. Shalom, Miss C. Shalom, Brother Eliyahu, Ben Israel, out there on the West Coast. Shalom, Trey King, Brother Trey Kingfish Mana. Shalom, Brother Malachi, Israel. Shalom, Sister Morning Chris. Shalom, Judah Yah. Shalom, Brother Judah Yah. Shalom, Brother Alahayam and Sister Malaka. Shalom, Brother Judah Yah says, are the Arabs a schematic people? If so, don't they already have their own land and riches with the oil and everything? I'm sorry, no, you have mentioned this 1,000 times. Who else is schematic besides us? What does schematic mean?
Probably saying nomadic.
Nomadic. That's it.
Nomadic.
I'm guessing that's what it's saying.
I think so too.
Or Shemitic or nomadic or whatever.
Well, let me read it again. Let me use the word nomadic in its place of schematic. The Arab, a nomadic people. Okay, that makes sense. If they don't, if so, don't they already have their own land and riches with the oil and everything? I'm sorry, no, you have mentioned this 1,000 times. Who else is nomadic besides us? Okay, it does fit that. Yeah, it does fit that. I can understand it now. The Arabs are not as a whole are not a nomadic people. They have their own land. They live in among themselves, so they don't do a lot of traveling. And that's what nomads do. They do a lot of traveling. They call them Bedouins also. But with the Arabs, you got Saudi Arabia over there, which if you look at the map, you see that that would be the Sinai Peninsula. You have Jordan over there that used to be Moab and Ammon's land. So they got them over there in Gaza and what they call Palestine. So they're stationary, so they're not moving around too much. But the Arabs, yeah, they're kind of stationary. But you do have those Bedouins that do go that have flocks flocks of sheep that they go from place to place looking for water. So yeah, you still have that, but not all of them are like that. Now our father was nomadic, Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, because they were walking all through Canaan land. But once the children of Israel came out of Egypt 430 years later, uh, after they came into Egypt, now they're headed to take Canaan land. So they wouldn't be nomadic anymore. They were nomadic, kind of nomadic when they came out of Egypt. But by the time they got to the Canaan land, they ceased being nomadic. Shalom, Brother Hodiah in Israel. Shalom, Jimmy O'More, Brother Jimmy O'More. Shalom, Brother Nat Neathapi. I guess that's how you want to pronounce it. I don't know, brother and sister. Shalom, Brother Benaiah. Shalom, Esha Yasharala. Shalom, Brother Alahayim. Man Yasharala. Shalom, Brother David Reed. Shalom, Sister, Mother, Sister, I forgot how to pronounce her name. No, not our. Nabat. Nabat. All right. Shalom, brother Ezra ben Israel. Shalom, brother Clarence Martin, sister Yolita. Shalom, sister Susie Garman. I don't have anything after Susie Garman. That's all you got. Okay. All right then. Still got 15 minutes. I tell you what, I think we can do this. Let's go ahead and put this on here. Let's pick it up in chapter 20, brother Stephen.
First Samuel chapter 20, verse 1. And David fled from Naoth and Ramah and came and said before Jonathan, what have I done, and what is mine iniquity, and what is my sin before thy father, that he seeketh my life? And he said unto him, Elohim forbid, thou shalt not die. Behold, my father will do nothing, either great or small, but that he will show it me. And why should my father hide this thing from me? It is not so.
Mm-hmm.
And David swore moreover and said, thy father certainly knoweth that I have found grace in thine eyes. And he said, let not your Nathan know this, lest he be grieved. But truly as Yahweh liveth, and thy soul liveth, there is but a step between me and death. Then said Jonathan unto David, whatsoever thy soul desireth, I will even do it for thee. And David said unto Jonathan, behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I shall not fail to sit with the king at meat. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field unto the third day at even.
Mm-hmm.
If thy father at all miss me, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me that he might run to Bethlehem, his city, for there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family.
Mm-hmm.
If he say thus, it is well thy servant shall have peace. But if he be very wroth, then be sure that evil is determined by him. Therefore thou shalt deal kindly with thy servant, for thou hast brought thy servant into a covenant of Yahweh with thee. Notwithstanding, if there be in me iniquity, slay me thyself. For why shouldst thou bring me to thy father?
Mm-hmm.
And Jonathan said, far be it from thee. For if I knew certainly that evil was determined by my father to come upon thee, then would not I tell it thee. Then said David to Jonathan, who shall tell me, or what if thy father answer thee roughly?
Mm-hmm.
And Jonathan said unto David, come and let us go out into the field. And they went out, both of them, into the field. And Jonathan said unto David, O Yahweh Elohim of Israel, when I have sounded my father about tomorrow or any time or the third day, and behold, if there be good toward David, and I then send not unto thee and show it thee, Yahweh do so and much more to Jonathan. But if it please my father to do thee evil, then I will show it thee and send thee away that thou mayest go in peace. And Yahweh be with thee as he has been with my father.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt not only while I yet live show me the kindness of Yahweh, that I die not, but also thou shalt not cut off thy kindness from my house forever. No, not when Yahweh have cut off the enemies of David, every one from the face of the earth. So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, let Yahweh even require it at the hand of David's enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And Jonathan caused David to swear again, because he loved him, for he loved him as he loved his own soul. And Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty. And when thou hast stayed 3 days, then thou shalt go down quickly and come to the place where thou didst hide thyself when the business was in hand, and shall remain by the stone Ezel. And I will shoot 3 arrows on the side thereof, as though I shot at a mark. And behold, I will send a lad, saying, Go find out the arrows. If I expressly say unto the lad, Behold, the arrows are on this side of thee, take them, then come thou. But there's peace to thee, and no hurt, as Yahweh liveth. But if I say thus unto the young man, Behold, the arrows are beyond thee, go thy way, for Yahweh have sent thee away.
Mm-hmm.
And as touching the matter which thou and I have spoken of, behold, Yahweh be between me and thee forever. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king set him down to eat meat. And the king sat upon his seat as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought, something has befallen him. He is not clean, surely he is not clean.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, Wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to me, neither yesterday nor today? And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. And he said, Let me go, I pray thee, for our family have a sacrifice in the city, and my brother, he has commanded me to be there. And now, if I have found favor in thine eyes, let me get away, I pray thee, and see my brethren. Therefore he cometh not unto the king's table. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said unto him, Thou son of the perverse, rebellious woman, do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion and unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom. Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die.
Mm.
And Jonathan answered Saul his father and said unto him, Why shall he be slain? What has he done? And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him. Whereby Jonathan knew that it was determined of his father to slay David.
Saul done lost his mind.
And the own son.
Mm-hmm.
So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger and did eat no meat the second day of the month, for he was grieved for David because his father had done him shame. And it came to pass in the morning that Jonathan went out into the field at the appointed time with David and a little lad with him. And he said unto his lad, Run, find out now the arrows which I shoot. And as the lad ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. And when the lad was come to the place of the arrow which Jonathan had shot, Jonathan cried after the lad and said, Is not the arrow beyond thee? And Jonathan cried after the lad, Make speed, haste, stay not. And Jonathan's lad gathered up the arrows and came to his master. But the lad knew not anything, only Jonathan and David knew the matter. And Jonathan gave his artillery unto his lad and said unto him, Go carry them to the city. And as soon as the lad was gone, David arose out of a place toward the south and fell on his face to the ground and bowed himself 3 times. And they kissed one another and wept one with another until David exceeded. And Jonathan said to David, Go in peace, for as much as we have sworn both of us in the name of Yahweh, saying, Yahweh be between me and thee, and between my seed and thy seed forever. And he arose and departed. And Jonathan went into the city.
All right, Stephen, I don't want to go no further than that. I think this would be a good place to stop. Let's see here. Matter of fact, Israel says Shemitic. Judah says Shemitic.
So,
Seed of Shem.
Yes, sir. I said it was even no man Shemitic. It's one of them.
Okay, so he said the Arabs are Shemitic. Who else did he say was Shemitic?
All of my relatives.
Let's see here. Yeah, He was saying schematic. Well, he meaning schematic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought you said. One of the other
Yeah.
nomadic.
Yeah. Okay. So that requires a different answer then. Because if it was nomadic, then yeah, I broke it out one way. But if it's Shemitic, yeah, the Arabs are Shemitic people, just like we are. Even the people over there that speak Yiddish, they're supposed to be Shemitic too, but we have to do a blood test on them. The Palestinians, the people they call Palestinian, are Shemitic. So they all come from Shem, uh, and the Africans, of course, come from Ham, and white people come from Yaphet. So I appreciate that clarification, Judah and Malachi. Appreciate that. And I hope I answered it correctly this time. So yeah, they are of the seed of Shem. They are, as the Arabs like to say, they are the seed of Abraham. They are because Abraham had a bunch of concubines. He had Keturah, and he sent all his sons to the east, but he left Esau uh, with inheritance. So I appreciate y'all letting me know what that meant, Brother Malachi, Sister, Brother Judah. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down again. I thank y'all for joining us. Uh, Eve Israel. Shalom, Eve Israel. Okay, Judah. So they was not cursed then because they already have their riches land, right? Yeah. Only Canaan was Ham was yeah, Canaan was cursed. Um, Nobody else is cursed in the Bible but Canaan and us. But because our fathers were cursed, did not keep the commandments, they became a curse. So, but Yahweh's taking that curse off of us now, getting us prepared to leave America and go back home. I want to thank y'all for joining us, Facebook and YouTube. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, thank y'all for joining us. Uh, Join us for our Sabbath service this coming Shabbat. Sister Kamal will not be having a Bible study. She's a little under the weather. We're looking forward to her return, but if she's up, shalom, my sister. I hope you're feeling better. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it out. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you to YouTube. Yahweh bless you.